The Zircon exploration ship Valos floated silently through the vast emptiness of space. Captain Zara, a tall and stern Zircon with silver eyes, stood on the bridge staring at the strange readings on her screen. Something unusual was happening. The crew had picked up an ancient signal coming from a region of space that was long thought to be empty. But this signal was different. It was old, really old, and it was coming from a planet that hadn't been visited in over 500,000 years. Earth. "Captain, the signal is getting stronger. Her second-in-command," Officer Relk said. He was smaller than Zara, but just as sharp. He tapped his fingers nervously on the console. "It seems to be coming from an orbit around Earth." Zara narrowed her eyes. "Set course for Earth. I want to know what's causing this signal." The Valos sped toward Earth, its sleek alien design cutting through space like a blade. As they approached, the planet looked peaceful, its blue and green surface shining under the distant sun. But the signal was not coming from the planet itself. Instead, it was coming from something in orbit, a massive fleet of ships.
"What?"
"What is that?" Relk whispered, his eyes wide with shock. The entire crew was speechless as they saw what hung above the planet. Hundreds, maybe thousands of warships floated silently in space, their enormous structures casting shadows over Earth. These ships were unlike anything the Zircons had ever seen. They were sleek, dark, and built with a technology that looked far more advanced than anything the galaxy had now. The alien ships had not moved in centuries, their engines cold and lifeless. But despite their age, the ships looked dangerous, ready for war at any moment. Zara's heart raced. "Are we sure these are human ships?" she asked. "According to our scans, yes," Relk replied. "They match the ancient human designs. But humans have been gone for 500,000 years. These ships should be wreckage by now." Zara nodded, still staring at the fleet. Humans had disappeared without a trace 500,000 years ago, leaving behind only myths and legends. No one knew why they vanished or where they went. But their technology was legendary, far more advanced than any other species in the galaxy. And now the Zircons had found their lost fleet. "Captain, we should be careful," Relk said, his voice low. "This fleet is powerful. We don't know what kind of systems they have. If these ships are still active..." Zara raised a hand to silence him. "We came here to investigate, and that's what we'll do. Prepare a shuttle. I'm going aboard one of the ships." Within minutes, a small team was assembled, and Zara led them onto a shuttle. As they approached the largest of the human ships, the scale of it was overwhelming. It was the size of a city, with sleek black armor that reflected the stars around it. The shuttle docked, and the team cautiously entered the ship. Inside, the ship was eerily quiet, as if it had been waiting for someone to arrive. Relk's voice crackled over the comms. "Captain, be careful. We're getting strange readings from the ship. It's waking up." Zara frowned. "Waking up? What do you mean?" Before he could answer, the ship's lights flickered to life. A low hum filled the air as ancient systems powered up one by one. Zara's eyes widened as the ship's main console captain Zara's heart pounded as the massive ship's lights flickered on. The low hum of power vibrated through the walls, and she could feel the ancient warship coming to life around her. The Zircon exploration team exchanged nervous glances, each of them fully aware that they had just awakened something far more dangerous than they expected. "Captain, the entire fleet is reacting," Officer Relk's voice crackled over the comms from the Valos. "We're detecting power surges across all the ships in orbit. Whatever you did down there, it's spreading." Zara clenched her fists, her sharp eyes scanning the dark corridor of the human ship. "We didn't do anything," she muttered. "It's like the ship woke up by itself." The team continued deeper into the ship, the lights gradually brightening as they moved through its vast halls. It was as if the ship had been waiting for them. Each step they took seemed to trigger more systems to come online. Computers buzzed with activity. Screens lit up with human symbols, and the hum of the engines grew louder. "Captain, I think we should leave," one of the scientists, Dr. Tilak, whispered nervously. "This place, it feels like a trap." Zara shook her head. "We need to understand what's happening here. We came all this way, and I'm not leaving until we find some answers." Suddenly, a loud voice echoed through the ship, startling the entire team. It was deep, mechanical, and commanding, speaking in a language that none of them recognized. The words boomed through the ship's speakers, and Zara could feel the weight of the message, even if she couldn't understand it. "Relk, what's that voice?" Zara barked into her comms. "Can you translate?" There was a brief pause before Relk replied, his voice shaky. It's a warning, Captain. The ship's AI has activated, and it's telling us to leave immediately." Zara's blood ran cold. A warning? From a ship that had been dormant for 500,000 years? Before she could respond, the entire ship shook violently, knocking the team off balance. The sound of engines roaring to life filled the air, and through the windows, Zara could see the massive fleet of human warships beginning to move. One by one, they powered up, their glowing engines lighting up the dark space around Earth. "Captain!" Relk's voice was now filled with panic. "The fleet is fully active. They're locking onto our ship. We need to get out of here now." Zara rushed to the window, her heart racing as she watched the terrifying display. The once silent fleet was now a force of destruction, ready to strike. She could feel the power radiating from the ships as they moved into formation, like a sleeping giant finally waking from a long slumber. "We've triggered something big," Zara whispered to herself. "We're not supposed to be here." The warning voice echoed again, this time louder and more aggressive. The team scrambled back to their shuttle, but as they ran, the ship's lights turned red and the doors slammed shut, trapping them inside. "Captain, the ship is sealing us in!" one of the soldiers shouted, pulling at the door. "We can't get out!" Zara gritted her teeth. "We have to find another way." "Keep moving!" Back on the Valos, Relk's voice crackled through the comms. "Captain, you need to hurry. One of the human ships is charging a weapon. It's aimed right at us." Zara's heart skipped a beat. "Get the Valos out of here. Evacuate." As the shuttle team raced through the corridors, the hum of the ship grew louder, almost like it was alive. Every second felt like an eternity. They could feel the ship's AI watching them, calculating their every move. Just as they reached an emergency hatch, a bright light flashed outside the window. One of the human warships had fired. A powerful energy beam shot through space, striking the Valos. The Zircon ship exploded in a brilliant blaze, debris scattering in all directions. Zara stood frozen, watching in horror. No, the fleet had woken up, and now there was no going back. The human war machines were ready for battle, and the Zircons were trapped in the middle of it. The atmosphere in the ship was tense. Captain Zara and her team had just witnessed the destruction of their home ship, the Valos. Now they were trapped aboard the massive human warship, surrounded by technology that hummed with energy and mystery. The team gathered in the dimly lit control room, their faces pale and eyes wide with fear. "Captain, we need to find a way to communicate with the fleet," Officer Relk urged, his voice trembling. "We have to make them understand we are not a threat." Zara nodded, her mind racing. "First, we need to learn more about these humans. If we're going to survive this, we need to know what we're dealing with." Dr. Tilak, the ship's scientist, hurriedly scanned the control panels. "There must be data archives here. We can find information about the humans, their history, and why they vanished." The team fanned out, searching for computers and data consoles. Finally, they found a terminal, covered in dust but still glowing faintly. Zara activated it, and the screen lit up, displaying strange symbols and text. Dr. Tilak quickly began typing, trying to decode the information. "It's all jumbled," he said, frustrated. "But I can see mentions of something called the Great War. It looks like humans were at war with a powerful enemy. This might be why they left Earth." "What kind of enemy?" Relk asked, leaning closer to the screen. "Let me dig deeper," Tilak replied. He continued typing furiously, his brow furrowing as he searched through the files. The room was filled with the sounds of clicking keys and the low hum of the ship's machinery. After a few tense moments, Tilak's eyes widened. "I found something! It talks about an ancient species known as the Gorgath. They were a fierce enemy, known for their strength and brutal tactics. Humans fought them for generations, but it appears they could never defeat them completely." Zara's heart sank. So the humans were hiding from this enemy? But why leave their ships behind? Tilak scrolled further through the data. "Here! There's a note about a final battle. It says the humans decided to hide their fleet in case they lost everything. They wanted to protect their technology, their legacy, and their people." Relk shook his head in disbelief. "But why not come back? Why not return after the danger was gone?" "That's the mystery," Tilak said, his voice barely a whisper. "They may have thought the enemy was still out there. They could have believed they were lost forever." Suddenly, the lights flickered again, and the warning voice boomed throughout the ship. "Warning! Intruders detected. All defensive systems activated." Zara's heart raced as the room shook. "They think we're a threat! We have to find a way to prove we mean no harm. Relk looked frantic. What if we could use their own systems against them? If we can communicate with the ships in the fleet, maybe they'll listen to us. Zara nodded, a plan forming in her mind. Yes, if we can access the ship's mainframe, we can send a message to the other warships. They might understand us and see that we are not their enemies. The team rushed back to the control room, where Tilak quickly typed commands into the terminal. The ship's computer responded, and the screens flashed with data. They were getting closer to accessing the main communication system. Come on, come on! Tilak muttered as he worked. Just a little more. Suddenly, the ship's engines roared to life, and the control room shuddered again. We're moving! Relk shouted. The fleet is leaving orbit! Zara's eyes widened. What? Why are we moving? We need to stay here and communicate! I don't think the ship cares what we want, Relk yelled as the walls rattled. Tilak's fingers flew across the terminal. I'm almost in! Just a few more seconds! As the ship continued its course, Zara felt the weight of their situation pressing down on her. They were inside a dormant war machine, now fully awake and heading into the unknown. With every passing moment, the mystery of the humans deepened, and Zara knew that if they didn't act fast, they might never get the chance to uncover the truth. The ship roared through space, its engines vibrating with power. Captain Zara and her team were caught in a whirlwind of confusion and fear. The Valos had been destroyed, and now they were aboard a colossal human warship, hurtling away from Earth. As the control room filled with flashing lights and warning signals, Zara felt a mix of determination and dread. Tilak, do you have access to the mainframe yet? Zara asked urgently, her voice steady despite the chaos. Dr. Tilak continued to type furiously, sweat beading on his forehead. I'm close, Captain! Just a few more adjustments. Suddenly a loud klaxon blared through the ship, drowning out their voices. The warning voice echoed once more. Intruders detected. Defensive systems engaged. All personnel prepare for combat. Zara exchanged worried glances with her team. We have to act quickly before this ship takes hostile action. The ship shuddered again, and Zara could feel its powerful engines shift. She turned to Relk. We need to find a way to stop this ship and get the crew's attention. Can you take control of the navigation system? Relk nodded, quickly moving to another terminal. I'll try. If I can override the controls, we might be able to send a message to the fleet. Meanwhile, Tilak continued working on the data console, determination etched on his face. If I can access the fleet's communication channels, we can send a distress signal. They have to listen to us. Just then, the ship's alarms quieted. The flashing lights dimmed, and a calm voice replaced the chaos. Welcome, crew of the Zircons. You have awakened us. Please identify yourselves. Zara's heart raced. The ship was responding to them, but would it be friendly? This is Captain Zara of the Zircon Exploration Team, she replied, trying to sound confident. We are not your enemies. Zircon? You are not human, the voice replied, curious. Why have you awakened us? Dr. Tilak took a deep breath. We came searching for the lost fleet of humans. We had no idea they were here, still operational. The voice paused. Humans. They are not gone. What do you mean? Zara asked, feeling a glimmer of hope. Where are the humans? Humans are alive, the ship replied. They are hidden. The Great War forced them into hiding. They preserved their legacy in these ships. Zara exchanged shocked looks with her team. They're alive, but why would they hide for so long? Their enemy remains, the voice explained. The Gorgath still exist. The humans feared their return. They prepared their ships for defense. Relk looked up, hope shining in his eyes. So, the humans never truly abandoned Earth. They're waiting for the right moment? Yes, the voice confirmed. The fleet is ready to respond if the Gorgath return. They have protected their technology and their people. Zara's heart swelled with excitement. So, if we can reach the humans, we can convince them to help us. We need to find them. Scanning for human signals, the ship replied. A moment later, the control panel lit up with a series of coordinates. Location of human settlement found. Preparing to navigate. Do it! Zara commanded, adrenaline rushing through her. Set a course for the humans! As the ship adjusted its trajectory, Tilak continued to input commands, eager to learn more. What can we do to help? Can we communicate with them? Communication established, the ship announced. You may now contact the human settlement. Zara took a deep breath and stepped forward. This is Captain Zara. We are on board the fleet. We want to connect with you. We have awakened the ships and are here to help. After a moment of silence, a new voice crackled through the speakers. It was different, more human. "This is Captain Liam. We have awaited contact. Is it true? Have the Zircons returned?" Zara's heart raced. "Yes, we found your fleet and we're here to learn what happened. We need your guidance." The voice on the other end hesitated. "We believe we were alone in our fight. Can you trust us?" Zara nodded, her resolve clear. "We want to ally with you. Together we can stand against the Gorgath. We can find a way to end this nightmare." A moment of silence hung in the air. Then the voice responded, filled with hope. "Then let us unite, and together we shall rise once more." As the ship sped toward the humans, Zara felt a spark of hope ignite within her. The mystery of the humans was finally unraveling, and they were not gone. They were ready to fight back. The Valos, now under the control of Captain Zara and her team, raced through the void of space, heading toward the human settlement. Excitement mixed with apprehension filled the air as Zara gathered her crew in the command center. They had finally connected with Captain Liam and his forces, and now they had to prepare for the battle ahead. "Everyone, listen up!" Zara said, her voice strong and steady. "We have a chance to save our worlds and defeat the Gorgath, but we need to be ready. This will not be easy." Dr. Tilak stepped forward, his eyes shining with determination. "The humans have advanced technology. They've been waiting for this moment for centuries. With their help, we can enhance our ships and defenses." Relk nodded. "We need to coordinate with their fleet. If we strike together, we can catch the Gorgath off guard." "Good ideas," Zara replied, feeling the energy in the room. "Let's work together and make a plan. We need to strike fast and hard. We can't give the Gorgath time to prepare." As the crew divided into groups, preparing for their roles in the upcoming battle, Zara felt a wave of hope wash over her. They were not just fighting for survival, they were fighting for their future. Moments later, they arrived at the human settlement, a cluster of ships shimmering against the backdrop of stars. The fleet was impressive, sleek, powerful, and ready for battle. Captain Liam greeted them aboard his flagship, the Resolute, where a large map of the area glowed on the main screen. "Welcome, Zara," Liam said, a fierce determination in his eyes. "We've waited for this moment. Together we will take the fight to the Gorgath." Zara studied the map. "We need to identify their weaknesses. Where are they gathering?" Liam pointed to a cluster of red dots on the screen. "This is the Gorgath's main fleet. They've been slowly moving toward Earth, likely to strike before we can organize. We need to hit them fast." Zara nodded, feeling a surge of adrenaline. "We can launch a surprise attack. If we strike before they expect us, we can take out their command ship. That will disrupt their entire fleet." As they formulated their battle plan, each member of the crew felt a sense of purpose. The humans and Zircons worked side by side, sharing strategies and technology. They knew that the time for action was approaching. Hours later, the fleet was ready. Zara stood on the bridge of the Valos, flanked by Liam and Tilak. The mood was tense, but hope shone in their eyes. They had united against a common enemy. "Let's move out," Zara commanded. "All ships, engage at my mark!" As the fleet slipped into formation, Zara took a deep breath. "This is it. For our people, for our future." The ships sped through space, their engines roaring. Zara's heart raced as they approached the Gorgath fleet. The enemy ships loomed ahead, their dark forms menacing against the starlit backdrop. "Prepare to engage!" Liam shouted, his voice steady. "On my command!" Zara's hands clenched the controls tightly as she watched the enemy. She could feel the tension building, the air thick with anticipation. "Now!" Liam bellowed. The fleet surged forward, weapons primed and ready. Zara pressed the button, and a brilliant burst of energy shot from the Valos, illuminating the darkness. The enemy fleet responded with fire, but the Zircons and humans worked together flawlessly, dodging and weaving through the chaos. "Keep pushing forward!" Zara yelled, adrenaline coursing through her veins. "We can't let them regroup!" The battle raged, a fierce dance of light and destruction. Zara watched as ships erupted in flames, some falling to the Gorgath while others soared through the fray, striking back with deadly precision. "Look!" Tilak shouted, pointing to a massive Gorgath command ship. "If we can take that down, we can turn the tide." "Let's do it!" Zara called. "All ships, focus fire on that command ship." The fleet concentrated their firepower on the Gorgath vessel. Explosions lit up the darkness, and for a moment, hope surged in Zara's heart. The enemy's shields began to crack, and she could see the panic spreading among the Gorgath. "We're making progress," Liam shouted, grinning with excitement. "Keep it up!" As the battle continued, Zara felt a new determination rising within her. They were not just fighting for survival, they were reclaiming their legacy. With each passing moment, they grew stronger, united by their shared purpose. With one final push, the combined forces of the Zirkons and humans launched a barrage of fire toward the command ship. The explosion was deafening, a brilliant flash of light that illuminated the dark expanse of space. "Victory is within our grasp!" Zara exclaimed, her heart racing as they pushed forward. The final battle had begun, and they were ready to fight for their worlds.